everybody, to another episode of Half a Clue Movie Review. We're talking about Casablanca. Has no relation to any of the songs in the movie.
No, that doesn't sound like any of the songs.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like as time goes by. But
No.
Yeah. But it's our Valentine's Day special episode.
Yeah.
For all those lovers out there, all those Ricks and Ilsas, Humphrey Bogarts and not Ingrid Bergman. All those Bergmans out there. Yeah.
Happy Valentine's Day. Or not. If you hate Valentine's Day, first of all, why are you watching this? What are you doing to yourself?
Well, I mean, I guess we're releasing it the day after, so haha, we thought about it.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we're releasing Demon Slayer on Valentine's Day, which is weird.
It's all about love.
Yeah. So we're covering Casablanca. It's a classic film from 1942. Its 80th anniversary just passed. Extremely
Iconic. Pretty much all the major lines that everyone knows from this movie. It's pervased the entire zeitgeist of filmmaking and everything. People know it.
Yeah, even if you don't know the film, you have heard the quote, like
absolutely.
Yeah, like the kid quote, or like we always have Paris.
Yeah.
Yeah, or Start of a Beautiful Friendship. I mean, they did it in Mr. Robot just recently. Yeah, so it's there, and also like let's be honest, for our K-drama fans, I know a lot of you. I've heard from some people who've listened to our show that they want us to cover K-drama. I'm like, I'm very resistant to that idea.
I don't want to do that.
I guess Squid Game counts, kind of.
Is that? I mean,
technically
it's
it is,
drama.
but it's like made with Netflix money. So
yeah.
I know there's like one of people have been telling me to review, and I finished the show. All of Us Are Dead. I don't know if you heard of it. The Korean show with the zombies. It's like number 2 on Netflix or something.
All of Us Are Dead. Isn't there another one like that? Another Korean.
I think you might be. Are you talking about Kingdom?
Yeah, Kingdom.
I love that show. That's like actually
I've not
really
seen
cool.
It, but yeah.
It's really cool. It's like Train to Busan, but like in the Joseon period and shit. But we'll talk about that bit later.
What are we here to talk about today?
We're talking about Casablanca with zombies.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so basic plot of this film. If you guys haven't heard of Casablanca, you're crazy as fuck.
Yeah. Then congratulations, because you're gonna
80
have a great
years
time.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
It takes place in World War II, and the setting is Casablanca, Morocco, where it's a Vicky controlled, which is like a French regime, part of Morocco, and where a lot of different sides and people from different sides of the political aisle, at least the Allied and the Axis powers, meet there, and it's kind of tense.
Yeah.
And we follow everything through the eyes of our main character, Rick, who is a badass motherfucker and owns a tavern and a bar and a gambling joint.
Yeah. No, I love it. I mean, just starting off like the setting immediately, like it just engrosses you into this like beautiful world of how rich in culture and languages and everything, just all clashing. It's this crossroads at a very important time. It's like, I think any good story sets you off with like that underlying tension, and it is throughout this whole movie. Nobody wants to be in Casablanca. Nobody.
Even though it looks pretty nice, but nobody wants to be there.
Yeah, no one wants to be there.
Everyone's trying to get exit visas and stuff like that.
Exactly. It is a crossroads for a reason. Everyone it's a stepping stone to move on to someplace else.
Whether it's America or like London or other, like, let's be honest, Allied places.
Yeah. You're trying to get the hell out of Nazi-occupied anything. And exactly. And Spain was no real, fun time at that time either. So it's like everyone's trying to move on. And I think it's, again, the perfect setting for these characters who are stuck in the past or stuck in this crossroads in their life, and they're trying to move on, and it's really hard. I mean, there's all these external differences and stuff. And I just love, like, when it first you get introduced to it, you see the streets, and when you go into Rick's, man, does this movie really just come alive. You see like
what a great introduction too.
Yeah,
where like he's signing checks, you only see his hand, and the camera slowly pans up to his face.
You see the chessboard that's right next to him.
So good.
Great.
This is how you introduce the character. Fucking John Watts from Spider-Man No Way Home. I'm talking about like when you have fucking Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin, you just do a cutaway of him breaking his thing and just his face. Yeah, fucking pan up, man, bitch.
Yeah.
Casablanca did it 80 years ago. You tell me you haven't watched Casablanca?
Maybe he hasn't. But no, I love the way that like.
And what's he doing directing Spider-Man? Yeah,
but it's like no, it's just a beautiful setting, and immediately from like the smoky atmosphere of this place as they're kind of gliding through this like the cafe, and you hear all the different people talking about it like, I'm gonna die here, I'm so scared, and people being like, I just want to get out of here. They're selling their valuables. Everyone, it's like, it's such like a, there's a tension in the air that is immediate, and it's there until the last minute.
It's like a stopgap. Everyone is going for their final destination.
Yeah.
And which makes Rick way more interesting because he's like, actually, just stay. I'll just stay here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, then you're immediately like, why do you want to stay here? What happened to you? What happened to your past?
Exactly.
And we find out you've been scorned by, Mrs. Bergman.
Why are you sad?
Ilsa.
Yeah.
But
why are you so sad, Humphrey?
I know, dude. Humphrey Bogart. We'll get into performance in a bit, but last thing I want to say about the thing was impressive is that obviously, okay, for a lot of reasons, because they shot it in World War II, they didn't actually go to Morocco, and all of this was on sets except one scene was when the I think the Major Strasser came in. Major Strasser, the German general.
Yeah.
Where he's what's it called? He came in, and that's the only shot. Major Heinrich Strasser is the only time where they didn't shoot in a studio lot or a set. Everything else was a set. Everything was built. Everything was made in the studio, and
Like,
they did
even
such
the
a good
runway?
job. Yeah.
Oh,
Like that
very
was
cool.
part of a studio
Or-
lot that
yeah,
they just
yeah.
converted and made it look with the mist and stuff.
Nice,
And I'm like,
nice.
dude, that is real good use of stats and production stuff. And that's how,
Yeah.
and I imagine that's how they did like the crazy lighting and stuff like that when we get the DP or
Oh,
the bars
yeah.
behind the background
Oh,
or like
so gorgeous.
the way Bergman's lit, where they like they use like gauze lights and certain type of Fresnels and all to get that specific soft
Yeah.
look on her face.
Those
Catch lights on her eyes too to make it sparkle.
Yes, beautiful, man. I love how just like inside, pretty much specifically in Rick's Cafe, but almost any interior scene, like the walls are just painted with shadows, with interesting colors and textures. Whether it's like the palm leaves or like those special type of like lamps that have like interesting shapes. Oh, like or the blinds. It's so.
I heard they did that, the blinds and all that stuff too. Because like the DPs, I want to give a special shout out to Arthur Edison. I think that's how you say his name. Arthur Edison, who is a beast on his own. Did the original
Legend.
Frankenstein and the Maltese Falcon. It revolutionized noir cinematography for most people, and he's on the ASC Hall of Fame. The reasoning he did that for, like the bars and the backgrounds to show, and he also likes to put it on top of people say that they're basically imprisoned by Casablanca.
Yeah, no, and you completely get that impression. Like you see these people, they feel trapped and they're just stuck. And again, that's part of that atmosphere and the aesthetic that just adds to it, and it's so great. Full disclosure, this was my first time watching Casablanca.
I know, and that's why, to get more views, we're gonna put this episode. My friend sees Casablanca for the first time.
Yeah, we should have probably mentioned that at the top of the show. But like, I'm like, I don't know, I'm a pretty big film buff. I love classic cinema. I've seen a lot of like other ones and stuff. It's just for some reason I've never crossed paths with Casablanca before. But
the whole reason why I made this podcast and this episode is just to get Ron to watch Casablanca.
Yeah, well done. It's like I just like, for some reason, Casablanca and Gone with the Wind, I just haven't seen those.
Oh, and it's crazy. Gone with the Wind. What's it called? Max Steiner. He did the score for Gone with the Wind too.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, he's a beast. Yeah. Gone with the Wind is. I like that film a lot, and it has problems. I'll be honest, a lot of problems in terms of racial depiction.
Oh,
but
yeah.
That one's also hard to get through because it's like 4 hours.
Yeah,
almost 4 hours.
Yeah, for real. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, man, I love classic films. I like films that go long too. But I was like, just because we had like a lot of stuff that we were watching this weekend, I was like, shit, how long is Casablanca?
And thank God it's only an hour 42.
Yeah, it's like only an hour 42. I was like, oh, hey, that's actually a lot shorter than I was expecting for a time of that period. Like I thought it would be like
3 hours.
Yeah, exactly. I was expecting Gone with the Wind. I was like, oh wow, I can't believe it's actually fairly short. But again, that's one of the best parts of this movie is the pacing.
Yeah.
This movie just flies by. Like I watched it twice because the first time I watched it, I was like, oh, this is great. But I was like, I really just want to watch it again just because I had a great time and just because like I want to be able to like just soak in the environment a little bit more. And it was beautiful. It flew by again. I was like, man, this like, oh, it's almost done. Like I was like, holy crap, like I didn't even feel it. Like again. So gorgeous. But we were talking about the cinematography. Like one of my favorite shots was when Rick and what was her name?
You mean Elsa?
Elsa.
Yeah.
Like they're in Paris and stuff.
Elsa, it's not Frozen.
Yeah. And they're both sitting on the couch and there's the light.
Oh yeah. I know
light,
what you mean.
light from the
gosh.
fireplace that is like just on them, and it's like, ooh, I was like, how did they get that effect? It's like, oh, they clearly are shooting those like lights through the fireplace.
Yeah.
Projecting the flames, like, or at least the the heat lines onto them and into the background, and I was like, oh, gorgeous. I love that, and that's not something you usually see every day. And a lot of times, like, I feel like because it just works better with black and white.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
might be wrong, honestly, because I haven't seen it done really. And again, because you do see flames, and there's also lights nowadays that you can use and set to where, oh, it looks like flames or it's flickering on people's faces. I've seen it all the time. Use it with like sky panels or novas or whatever. There's myriad of like of LEDs that can do that effect, but not really, not really to that realistic actual flame and the embers, or like the look and feel of like the texture.
It's just
of it
better
moving.
if you just
So
do the
good.
real thing.
Yeah, beautiful.
And not to just plug in Euphoria, but then like that they apparently, I like when it's the thing, they say they reference like Arthur Eden's work, particularly from Casablanca and stuff like that.
Nice.
For their lighting sequence. I'll show you behind the scenes, which is crazy. It's like,
Okay.
and I like that it's still influential to this day.
Oh, absolutely.
That's like people still go like, yeah, they did it way better than us 80 years ago.
Yeah,
let's use
like,
it now.
Again, watching this movie, I was like, I want to go light a scene. Give me something. I'm like, I want to go do stuff now. Like, this looks so good.
It's
like,
so motivational. I was like, fuck yes.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, exactly. It sparks that love for cinema again, which I was just like, oh yes, like it's so good, just soaking in every second.
And Michael Bay took the right lesson. He's like, I don't like any of this noir shit. Let's just make everything orange.
Orange and teal.
Yeah.
Yep. That's all you need.
What's it called? But no, I give a lot of props to this film. And we talked about the bar and the way Ingrid, not Ingrid Bergman. I keep saying Ingrid Bergman, but what's it called? What's it called? Actually, no, it is Ingrid Bergman. My bad. What's it called?
Idiot.
But basically, the way she's lit is and the frame, right? No, not even just her, just some of the other females too. Yeah. It's just like it's
like. Go.
It's really soft. Yeah, at the same time, it's sad to look at, nostalgic, and also the little sparkle in the eyes. It's just like all these extra things. There's so much effort to get just one fucking close up.
Yeah,
I give a lot of props to that.
Absolutely, yeah. It's that classic Hollywood look and feel to it. Like, I feel like this is just one of those movies that really just carved that niche for sure. Like, I don't know. It's like it's a staple for a reason. It clearly shows like all of those classic parts of Hollywood cinema from the 40s, at least, like golden age. So great. Yeah. I love like the women's like a lot of times that style has like gone away for many reasons. It's a little sexist. There's a lot of reasons for it. Like, oh, we give them softer light and they look like, oh, they're glowing, beautiful angels.
But it works in this film because it was a nostalgic glow.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's from Rick's point of view too.
Yeah. So I think there's thematically it works very well.
Yeah, you just have to use it in the right circumstance. Like, like we don't have to get away with it. It doesn't also have to be only females. It could be on males if it's from a female's perspective on them. Yeah, on like about like their male lover or something like that.
Exactly. Or like I feel like again like that kind of that feel has still it's still around in cinema today. People use that like softer lighting and stuff for a myriad of reasons and stuff. And so that's great to still see. But yeah, back then it was fairly specific.
yeah, very, very specific. Yeah. All right, let's get into some of the characters. Like our main three central characters, Rick Blaine, Ilsa Lund, and Victor Laszlo. Let's first get into Rick Blaine, who we talked about before. He is Humphrey Bogart. By the way, I think like he didn't win Best Actor for this film, by the way.
Crazy.
And then I forgot it was for something. I forgot what it was, like Lax or Jack or something. Like I forgot the actor. But yeah, he didn't win out. And and Ingrid Bergman didn't even get nominated for this film. She got nominated for another film, like The Bells Tolls or something like that. But these are the performances everybody remembers them for.
Yeah. Right.
But Rick being the standout, obviously, because like you could tell he's a tortured soul who's callous to the world, but he has a soft side because he's secretly a sentimentalist. I think that's an interesting thing too. Where his exterior is a cold, callous tavern businessman, but interior he's like a patriot at heart. Yeah, and a romantic at heart.
A sentimentalist.
Yes. Which also, when we get to supporting character, he is my favorite supporting character, Captain Renault.
Yes. Yeah, he steals the show for me. I loved every second he was on screen. No, yeah, it's great. I love seeing it. Like he's a very layered character. Like you said, he has that hard exterior shell, but a softer sentimentalist inside. That's great to see.
Bogart does it so well. Like his voice and his just look. is communicates it effortlessly because
Yeah.
it sounds like a grumpy, sophisticated old guy,
Yeah.
but then like with his eyes just a little twinkle every now and then, or whenever he sees Ingrid and you see his like facials just twinkle just a little bit. I'm just
Yeah.
like, oh
Just like his subtlety, like just little moments where you can kind of see the vulnerability to him. This man has clearly been heartbroken before, and he's carrying some kind of weight with him. He's been on the losing side multiple times, like
yeah.
again and again.
He's a worn out individual, and
Yeah.
Humphrey Bogart does that perfectly. Like him, Gary Cooper, are like some of my favorite actors that are able. Oh, maybe not John Wayne. He's a little overhyped. He did those Gun Searchers, but
Yeah.
like those actors are like instantly you look at them and like, oh, they've been through some shit.
Yeah. Like they've seen it, they've lived it, and Humphrey definitely like carries that weight to him. No, he kills it. And then Ingrid Bergman's also kind of like she seems to have this sense of longing to her.
Yeah,
That just like this the sense of like melancholy that kind of just like pervades
her
like,
face. Yeah, it's like
yeah.
sweet, but yeah, sweet as you say, sweet but melancholic in her face too,
Yeah.
and also like classic Hollywood beauty, and
Yeah.
and also like you know, it makes sense like because Rick, we've seen that he's been having a revolving door of girlfriends or girls that he's with, and then she instantly stands out. Besides just the lighting, but just like just looking at her, you're like, okay,
Yeah.
I could see why.
Like there's something special about this lady.
Yeah, and then the chemistry between the two is just insane.
Yeah, no,
It's just them staring at each other. I think Robert Ebert said like it's melting butter on screen, something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was like, I mean, I think they were trying to, and they're trying to replicate that for La La Land to close enough degree. I mean, they have pretty good chemistry.
Yes,
as
it's completely different.
it is completely different, yeah.
But like they definitely do have good chemistry. Yeah,
and then like everyone's trying to replicate they like whenever like I've heard in pitch meetings where like the chemistry is gonna be like Rick Blaine and Ilsa from Casablanca, and that's like their go-to like hot Hollywood couple or whatever.
Yeah, I definitely feel the chemistry between them. But again, it's that kind of like exaggerated classic Hollywood kind of thing. Where they're like, "Kiss me, and tell me you love me," you know, which is like fine. Like I think, but it works, and especially
because
like
he's
this
so
kind
scorned, right? Because he's got. Let's get into their love story. Like he got fucked over.
Yeah,
because they had Paris and they fall in love, but then once and also you know, we find out that she's been secretly married to Victor Laszlo, but she thought Victor was dead.
Yeah,
but then like when they're about to leave after Germany's about to come in, she finds out Victor's alive, and she's like, oh fuck, I can't tell you why, but bye bye.
Yeah,
I'm like, bitch, you couldn't have put that in the note.
You could have left him a little something, being like, hey, listen, I thought my husband was dead. Turns out he's not. I have to leave you now. You know, my home planet needs me. No, whatever. She could have told him something, rather than just like, I gotta go, bye, and just leaves him literally just standing in the rain.
Yeah, I know, totally understand Rick's point of view.
There's hope for you standing there in his iconic raincoat and hat. It's like, oh, poor guy, it's so sad. And it's great. But yeah, very heartbroken.
Yeah,
like scene. They
even like because when they because beautiful, by the way, their theme song as time goes by.
Yeah,
that first introduction, and then as Sam plays it and stuff. You know, he knows the music, but he just like trying not to play it.
Oh, I don't remember that
one. Which Sam is also secret MVP. Yeah. And then when they play that song, when Humphrey says, "You played it for her, you could play it for me." Yeah. And then they play the song, and it just effortlessly transitions to their love backstory. And one of my favorite flashbacks in film history. And it goes in, and it's really quick at like communicating, like
exactly,
like their love story and like why they fell in love and why you can see the chemistry on screen.
Hardly any dialogue needed, right? You just you see it unfolds. It's like, oh, that's great. They loved each other. And then the Nazis invaded, and then the Fire Nation attacked. No, it's like, and then, but it's very, very well communicated.
Yeah, and then they have it again, and pretty much all their scenes, those two scenes together. I mean, let's be honest, the real couple. And we talked about Victor Laszlo. He did good for his role. He's like the husband. I do like the fact that they don't make him like a side piece. Or he's like a person that you want to get rid of to get to the main love interest. Like he actually has his own motivations. He's sympathetic. He has a goal that we all root and sympathize, go behind.
He's very noble. Yeah.
Yeah. And he even fully admits that, like, look, I understand what you did in the past. You were lonely. And he doesn't like judge.
Yeah, you don't know what happened to me. Like, I get it, you know?
Yeah, and which I liked. Which is funny because the actor who played Victor Lazo apparently doesn't like Humphrey Bogart or Ingrid Bergman. He thought they were like lame or unprofessional, or they're just like they're not up to his quality. And I'm just like, okay, cool, buddy. You're third. Oh, and it's the only reason why he took the role apparently, because he got top billing with them.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he did a good job. Don't get me wrong, Paul.
Yeah.
Henry, but you're not Humphrey Bogart. But and I love that scene with when they were singing the Marseille song versus the German the song that the German Nazis play.
Yeah, he's like, all right, everybody on their feet. We're playing this. We're singing, going against them.
And he has a scene like I like it's weird that a film 80 years ago has more what's a multi-layered love triangle characters than like nowadays.
Yeah, nowadays it's so easy just to be like,
he's the husband that nobody wants.
Yeah, exactly. No one's screaming at the audience like, "Well, obviously end up with this guy because the other guy is a dingus or whatever," or the other person is like very clearly like just not the right choice. And it's like, no, this one, it's like, oh, well, you could understand both sides.
And
if anything,
genuinely loves her and is super kind to her.
Yeah, and if anything, it's like you shouldn't be with Humphrey. At this point.
No,
yeah, it shouldn't be with Rick. Rick is like, you know, he's probably not the best choice, but you understand their chemistry and you understand like what they went through. Yeah, that it's like it's hard. You know, sometimes love doesn't make sense, but yeah, it's great.
All right, so let's get back to the real couple of the show. It's Rick and Captain Renault.
Yeah.
They're the real true couple at the end. That's who I was rooting for the entire time.
If I were Roman, well, I'd be in love with Rick.
Which it's just secret code for I'm in love with Rick. Yeah. He's just trying to use a woman as a code thing. Yeah. That's why at the end, like I know some people like all bullshit, like, oh, how come he didn't arrest Rick? I'm like, no, I get it. He has a huge fondness for Rick.
Absolutely, yeah. He respects him. I think he has like
he hates the Nazis.
Yeah, he hates the Nazis. He's not like he's very clearly working with them because he has to, right? Because otherwise they'll get the full fury of like the Third Reich or whatever. So he's trying to be as diplomatic as he can, like while still being fair, for the most part.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah, I love the part when he's just like. He's like, you got to shut this place down. He's like, well, like on what grounds? He's like, find him. And so then he does. And he's like, how are you shutting me down? And he's like, I'm so appalled to find out there's gambling going on here.
I was like, here's your winnings.
He's like, thank you very much. Anyways, everyone out of here.
His comedic timing, I think his name is Claude Rains.
Yeah,
fantastic.
Yeah, he was great. He was my favorite part. Like he was super charming and witty. He's got like just an energy to him that like is just it's fun.
Quick, snappy. He's on Rick's side, but not enough to lose his job. He's always looking out for numero uno, which is himself, which I liked. Yeah, I like that dynamic.
It's completely understandable for again the characters in the setting in a place like this, where it's like these are very tenuous times. Where you stand, everything you say or do could literally cost you your life the next day. You don't know. You know, the tides of war, everything's changing. Third Reich is up. This takes place in what, like 39, they said?
Yeah, 39. And then
so this is like peak Nazis.
and the World War II wasn't even finished by the time. They actually like rushed the film into release.
Which kind of, again, blows my mind. The fact that they made this movie like so extremely topical at the time and relevant, and how it still holds up today. Like I don't know, it's crazy.
But you know what's funny? When they released this film in Germany, but they cut out all the German scenes. So how can you imagine that?
Yeah, they don't sing Marseille, nothing. They just show the Germans just singing by themselves. They're just like, hey, that's great, huh?
Yeah, so it's like they have a very different.
Wait, did they show him like killing the Gestapo dude? Or
no, I think they like took that out too.
What the fuck? What is that?
Yeah, it's a very weird cut.
Just super watered down. I can't. That's terrible.
But I understand at that time.
Yeah, at the time, I get it. Yeah, that's,
Germany now has like the official.
Oh, you
cut.
mean when under the Nazis, like under the Third Reich?
It's fucking hilarious. But yeah, and then I think like they were rushing to release it because it was just I think Operation Trench or something like that, or Troch, where what's it called? It's okay. I have my notes right here, but yeah, they were trying to release it as soon as possible because the Allied forces just invaded had a major victory and was approaching into North Africa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they were just like, oh shit, let's get this in there, and it worked. It was a box office success.
Yeah,
good for them.
That's great. How many awards did this thing win?
Oh yeah. So it got nominated for 8 Academy Awards and only won 3, surprisingly. But it won the big 3: Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Screenplay.
Oh, okay.
But
surprised it didn't win cinematography.
I know. I
That's
know.
crazy. Do you know what actually won that year?
I forgot, but it wasn't that one. Yeah, like I said, there was a lot of snubs that year. I
Yeah.
know people complain about snubs now, but snubs were crazy back then.
Yeah.
Remember, Citizen Kane didn't win.
Boo.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird time for Oscars, and every time you're like, oh, the Oscars are getting it right. They gave it to Parasite, and then
Yeah.
and Denis didn't get nominated for Best Director. And for Blade Runner also, but yeah, whatever. That's a whole other topic. We have a video on that. By the way, he wasn't a big part, but I just gotta give a big shout out to my good old. I mean, he's not my friend; he's dead. But but Peter Lorre, who was playing Ugart. Remember the guy in the beginning with the letters?
Oh yes.
Yeah. And you know who he is, right?
No.
He plays the killer in M.
Oh,
He looks like he has that look.
Yes, he does. Because I was like, I know this dude. He looks familiar, but I was like, I didn't look him up. I should have. But like, I was like trying to place him. I was like, where's this dude from? But yeah, no, that's
He has
awesome.
an instantly like sleazy but sympathetic look.
Yeah, he looks like sad.
Yeah,
but also
sad, pathetic,
like,
and
yeah,
kind of untrustworthy.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm not gonna trust this guy, but I do feel bad for him.
Yeah. And perfect casting on every part. And I think like there's only like 3 American-born actors in this whole cast. Like Humphrey Bogart being one of them,
which is like I feel like pretty surprising for back then.
Yeah,
like
hey,
big time American production.
They want to put all American actors.
Yeah,
which makes sense for the show. You know, for this film.
For this film, yeah, absolutely. It's like again, there's mostly I love that again. It's a crossroads of like all these different cultures and everything, and like nationalities where it's like there's French, German, Austrian, Swedish, Russian, Chinese, Spanish, Moroccan. Like they're all just there. Everyone's just kind of crammed into this place. And they're just trying to get the hell out of there.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's great.
Oh, and I mean, he's not a big part, but last shout out to I think Signor Ferrari, the blue parrot guy.
Yeah.
He was cool. For
Kingpin.
Yeah, Kingpin, pretty much.
Kingpin / like Colonel Sanders.
He inspired.
Yeah, I imagine he did. Yeah, he looked like Kingpin. Dude.
They were like, "What if we made that guy evil?"
Yeah,
that's pretty much Kingpin. What's it called?
Stan Lee saw this dude and was like, "Yeah, I could work."
No, because Stan Lee's a huge film buff too, so he's just like watching.
He references like classic cinema and stuff.
Him and Jack Kirby. Let's also give like all those Carters.
Yeah, absolutely. Credit. Yeah, him and Jack Kirby.
What's it called?
R.I.P.
R.I.P. for everybody. Oh, this makes me sad now.
Yeah, I know.
So is your favorite performance? I'm assuming Captain Renault, right? Claude Rains as Captain Renault. Or is it Humphrey Bogart?
It's really tough. I mean,
for me, those two are tied.
Yeah, exactly. Like both of those guys really like. I think Humphrey Bogart because he just has more to do. Like in terms, he has more range of stuff to do. He's he gets the wide array of like acting, like range. So that's great. But I think Claude Rains, though, I just want to give major shout out for just really helping steal the show and for just elevating every scene that he was in. I loved it. Yeah, it's great.
And I remember when I was a kid when I watched it, I was a little worried that because this is before I knew it was set in World War II, that I was like, it's just gonna be another boring romance film.
Yeah,
and I was like, before you knew anything about this, is that what your perception was, kind of?
No, okay. So
did you know it was like World War II and stuff like that?
I did know it was World War II. The stuff that I knew about it was basically that like it's it takes place during World War II. People are trying to leave Casablanca. I knew the ending. I knew a lot, like all the major lines, of course.
No.
I just knew. Well, I didn't know the ending exactly. I just knew that basically he's like, you got to get on that plane. We'll always have Paris. Whatever. I'd seen those parts and everything. Just being a film fan, that shit comes up, So like this is beginning to be the end. This is the beginning of a beautiful friendship, that kind of stuff. So I was like, all right. So I kind of had just like a basic idea.
They added that last minute. They dubbed it.
Oh yeah.
It was between that and like something about like we have an operation that you could be a part of. And I'm like, and they're like, yeah, that one's better.
Yeah, they're like, that's a little lame. Like we get the idea, you know, basically. But no, so I didn't really know exactly what it's about, but I knew obviously it's like, a classic romance film, like you hear about it all the time. So yeah, I was a little bit nervous that it was just going to be just straight romance, which there's nothing necessarily wrong with that. Yeah.
But this one, it's not really interesting. It's not even romances. I mean, it's central, but it's not overbearing in a sense.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's like, I don't mind when like a film is like with romance, like is like one of the main ideas, but like it's got to be something more.
Yeah.
So I was very excited. Like as soon as it starts, and it's just like with the globe, and it's like across the world, the world is at war and everything. It's like the little planes, little like practical models and
Yeah.
stuff. That was great. I love that. I was like, oh, this is beautiful. Like I'm already like interested to see where this is going. It shows like the fallout of like what's happening with World War II and everything, and then they track all the way here, and I'm immediately sucked in. Like this is great. So yeah, I was very happy to see how quickly the story just takes off, and how immediately you're just thrown into this world, and it's immediately like they shoot a guy.
Yeah, the,
Like,
the inciting
first,
incident is like the first 10, 15 minutes.
yeah, it's like right away. A guy was murdered. They're trying to capture this dude. And then they're just like, we got to go to Rick's. Why Rick's? Because everyone's at Rick's. And then we go to Rick's.
Yeah,
And it's
exactly.
like, here we go.
And then Ugarte's like, oh, I trust you, Rick, but I don't trust you. Here's the thing. Here's the plot device. He's a MacGuffin.
Exactly.
And then he hides the MacGuffin, and then the person who wants to find the MacGuffin is immediately introduced after he dies.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, where happened to the guy he died? Okay, oh, he died? Okay, what do we do?
Yeah.
And now we talk to Rick.
The stakes.
It just compiles. It's efficient. It goes scene to scene. I mean, screenwriters,
Yeah.
please. I get it, Marvel.
Script economy.
Yeah, I know. I get it, Marvel. You like having a joke about, oh, wow, where does the webs come from? Does it come out of your penis? You know what I mean? Even though I did laugh at the scene. But let's be honest. Let's keep the plot going, you know?
It's like you can have witty dialogue that advances the plot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This film does that especially. Oh, my God. Judd Apatow needs to watch this film.
Yeah, for real, dude.
Judd Apatow. 3-hour funny people movie about a comedian who's depressed and wants to, like, fuck. Basically, Judd Apatow's wife, which is weird. Yeah, that guy. Okay. Last couple of things we want to talk about. Okay, well, let's talk about the ending, like the most iconic part where at the end he decides and he fools everybody with this Rick being 10 steps ahead of everybody else. He fools the captain. He fools the major. He even fools Ilsa into believing that he's gonna go off to America with her. But no, he's actually gonna do the noble, badass fucking thing. He's like, no, you go with Victor. You guys have a patriotic thing. I'm a sentimentalist. It's not going to be right if you stay here.
Yeah.
I'm going to stay behind and try to do what I can from this side.
What a sly dog.
I know. I'm just like, damn, Rick. What a badass.
Yeah, for real.
And
even what he tells Victor as he's leaving, like, listen, man, like, we kind of had a thing, but honestly, she's your wife. She loves you. I was basically just a side piece.
Yeah.
Like, she's
no. She never says she loves him in the film, though.
Yeah, that's true.
She only says she loves Rick. So I guess technically he's a side piece. Where she goes with the side piece instead.
But my point is that he's trying to basically like
right the wrong.
Yeah, he's like, listen, like this, you guys belong together. Ultimately, you guys side by side are making a bigger difference in the world than even like what I've done. Like so. You go do that. I'm gonna stay behind and do what I can and what I'm capable of, which is great. And yeah, that's beautiful. That's great. I love it.
And his shootout with Major Strasser, I was like, oh, so satisfying. Yeah.
He just shoots the Gestapo dude.
Boom.
Like, okay, good.
Yeah, nice. I was like, only Humphrey Bogart looks that cool with a gun. Even like, I was like, okay. Like, it's controversial to say it looks cooler than John Wayne. I'm just kidding. No, he doesn't. Okay, John Wayne's a whole different thing.
Yeah, it's a completely different kind of presence,
It's I thought like I know at the time it was very controversial. It was like melodramatic, they didn't end up together. But also censorship laws doesn't allow at the time they didn't allow a woman to leave their husband for another man to be shown on screen.
Oh.
Yeah, that you can't promote it. But it worked well for this film.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just happened to be the case, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
sometimes, eventually,
yeah.
What is it, like 1,000 monkeys at a typewriter?
Yeah.
Eventually one will figure something out,
They're just constantly going at it with the rules and confines that it did. It's a miracle the film came out as good as it, considering all the confines, the tension between the screenwriters and the director, and also the fact that the twins left the film to be on Frank Sinatra's film and then was replaced by Howard Koch, and Howard Koch left, and then the twins came back to finish the script. And also, the film was shot chronologically because they did not finish the script while shooting. But there was a play there, so they knew the basic outline.
Interesting.
Yeah. So they were like carefully like filming. That's why I guess it feels so planned out, because they were like carefully shooting every shot and plan to lead into the next one. Which is like, in a weird way, like it's a very big no-no now, but it worked for this film.
Yeah.
It almost forced this film to be very planned out.
Yeah, exactly. Like I feel like so much of the like the shot composition and like the camera moves and blocking, like it feels so seamless that it just kind of just that the camera feels like it's either gliding through a scene or it's just like more like an observer, like it's usually very stationary, but I guess that's for the time. That's just how kind of cameras were back then. For you to like have a camera move was like a big deal.
Yeah, and this one had quite a bit.
Yeah,
like pushes and stuff like that.
Yeah, and like again, like camera moving through like a bar scene or moving through like the cafe, like that's but it feels so seamless that it has to that's where the planning and everything really comes into play. And yeah, I think they really pulled it off, which is great and impressive. And I think sometimes being forced to shoot chronologically,
so which like the shots go into the next one, the editing.
Yeah, that's it definitely can work in the favor. So yeah, good for them. But I guess
definitely a lightning in the bottle situation.
Yeah, for sure. But I think also like shooting it inside of a studio where you can pretty much control like every aspect of it is what definitely helps. Like the assist, like having be able to shoot it chronologically. And this was like the age of like the studio system and everything. So everything
was like a machine.
Exactly. Yeah. So they were just cranking these films out. So I imagine did they have how much hopes did they have for this film? Were they like
they were very surprised it did well.
Really?
They were very surprised. They were hoping it did well because they were like, okay, they're gonna make money, right? But they didn't expect it to be this cultural phenomenon that it did.
Oh, awesome!
Yeah, which is great. I mean, to be fair, I mean this guy made like the Adventures of Robin Hood and stuff like that. And sadly, the screenwriters, like I think Howard Koch got blacklisted in the 1950s for the whole Red Scare thing.
Oh no, he was a commie.
Yeah, so he got fucked. But or I don't even know if that was one of the reasons, but he did get blacklisted in the 1950s. Yeah. So unfortunately, the screenwriters. Oh, and then one of the twins died.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's also like, and that affected the other twin. So it's like the screenwriters is very sad on their part. I mean, they got money for this film and got paid.
Yeah.
But yeah. And the director went on to make a lot more films. I didn't know that he was like already really fucking old by the time this film came out. He was born in the 1800s.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know.
That is kind of crazy.
And I think Humphrey Bogart was like, he died really young too, like 57.
Yeah, I think so. He didn't really.
He died like 1957. He was born in like 1899 or something.
Wow, that's crazy. I remember listening to like a thing about Humphrey's like life story, and I wish I remembered more of it because I'm like now I'm drawing a blank.
I know he's married to Lauren Bacall. That was his last wife,
who just passed away recently. Yeah, we gotta cover Lauren Bacall at one point. Actually, we need to have an episode of Sidney Poitier.
I know.
Yeah, he's also a beast guy. At one point, when there's a gap in our schedule, we'll do like Guess Who's Coming to Dinner and stuff like that. Dude, he looks so badass, Humphrey Bogart.
Yeah, super iconic. Yeah, born 1899, died 1957, which is only 10 years after, or a little over 10 years after this film was released.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
And he did win 1952 an Academy Award. So he did win an Academy Award before. Thank God. Can you imagine Humphrey Bogart for never winning Academy Award? That's what happened to Peter O'Toole. Like he got an honorary Academy Award, but he got nominated 8 times, never won.
That's tragic. I feel like that's why like the Academy is trying to like rectify that. Yeah, they're just like, we can't let that happen again. That's like embarrassing. So they're like, here, Leonardo, here it is for the Revenant.
Oh, come on, he deserved it. Come on, he did.
Nah, he definitely it felt a little bit more accumulative, I'll say. I think he did a fantastic job in the Revenant, but I don't know if it was like the best that year. I don't remember even what came out that year.
The other one was Steve Jobs or Michael Fassbender. People thought it was between those two. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. That's tough to say. Anyway, the point is that like it's good to hear that he at least got an Oscar.
Yeah. And Ingrid Bergman. She got a lot.
Awards aren't everything, but it is nice.
Yeah. Oh, back then it was though. Okay, favorite quote. Mine is honestly I know everyone says we always have Paris and stuff like that, but I for me it's all the gins joints, and like if all the gin joints in towns and like all the world, if she walks into mine.
Yeah.
Just to show that it's like, the whole thing of like there's everything, and like there's the basic quote of out of all the options you went to mine.
Yeah,
what are the chances, pretty much, like what are the chances quote.
Yeah, I like that one. I've always just liked here's looking at you, kid, just because I've said that in my everyday life before I even saw the movie.
And then round up the usual suspects. That's the name for, that's the reason, that's how they got Bryan Singer got the name for Usual Suspects.
Oh,
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's
I did not know that.
The influence of this movie just stretches.
Yeah, no, for real. Like it touches all across like film history at this point, which is like that's a mark of a good film,
Yeah.
regardless of like yeah, that's great. That's great. It stood the test of time. Yeah, no,
It's,
I love.
it's
I love.
almost too good that like whenever a film is not as good as a film that's 80 years old, you're like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, no, for real. Like I was a little nervous like going into it that like is this movie just gonna be overhyped for me? Because like sometimes it happens. Sometimes you watch a film and you're like, this is definitely a great film, and I could see why it was groundbreaking for the time.
I think
But
that's how you felt with Nightmare Alley, right?
Oh yeah, the original Nightmare
Yeah,
Alley?
the original Nightmare Alley.
Yeah, pretty much. Where I was like, I could see why this film like it holds some esteem, or why it helped like shape cinema afterwards, but like it just didn't quite translate as well for me. But no, this one I was like, oh, I could definitely see why this captured the imagination and like the hearts of America and the world at the time, and why it still does today. I'm like, I get it. Like that's great. So I was happily engrossed in the story.
Yeah, it's like rare films that do that. Like, and as we're winding down, we're going to talk about his legacy, where it's like rare films that like have been up to that esteemed level and still kind of hold to this day.
Yeah.
Like as much as I really like Gone with the Wind, for me it does at certain points, but there's a problematic depictions of race, but that's at the time, so I don't give it
There's
too much
issues.
shit.
Yeah. Like watching West Side Story for the first time this year, I was like, I understand there's a lot in this film that I really like, but it's like there are issues where I'm just like, I'm not entirely sure this was done its best abilities.
Every one of the Bose's accent was over the top. And Renault's, actually.
Yeah.
That's not her fault.
No, it's not. Yeah. It's just again Hollywood for the time.
But also the character, like it was in the play, like it's always like her accent is supposed to stand out amongst the rest.
Yeah.
And
like even then, there's just it's a classic cinema for a reason, and I feel is like one of the best examples of what classic cinema was capable of, and how it can still be relevant. So
yeah,
I'm excited. Like this is a movie I can't wait to show, like my kids, like my family, just to be like, hey, let's watch like a classic film.
This out of all the films, as much as I love The Godfather, though Godfather, I still be like, I could show it, but
I was about to say, what are you gonna say, The Godfather?
Yeah, you're gonna wait for me. That's the film that holds. But I could still be like showing that to anybody, and I feel like they'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
But even more than The Godfather, mainly because Godfather is the 3-hour running time. That's the big deterrent for a lot of people. They shut the fuck up and watch. You guys watch fucking 60 hours of Game of Thrones for 39 hours of Lost. It's 3-hour fucking film. You could divide into chunks.
It's very easily digestible.
Yeah, Casablanca is like 1 hour and 42.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like like I guess like exactly what you're saying. Like Citizen Kane, I love Citizen Kane.
It is a longer film.
Yeah. Is it like possibly overhyped or not? It's hard to say. Again, extremely groundbreaking. There's so much that can go to it, but it's like I would say it's probably not. But again, it's hard to digest for like I think even an average film goer or anything else. You can show it to it, and I could understand why someone would be unimpressed. It's like they're like, oh, I don't really like. It's not for me. But
okay, well, again, are you talking about super casuals?
Yeah, yes. I'm saying casual film goers where like they're like, I don't know if I liked that or whatever, and it's like, all right, it's fine because it's pretty complex. Sometimes it's really hard to like really understand or not to understand, but to just really like appreciate a lot of different levels that go in the techniques and the storytelling, everything. There's so much that goes into it. But we're here not to talk about Citizen Kane,
One day.
One day.
Photography and stuff.
Yeah.
But then I think,
but like a film like this is, I guess what I'm trying to say is again, boom, like anyone I think would love this film. And if you don't, what's wrong with you?
I know it is. It's a litmus test, like whether or not like Leia, who's like, oh my gosh, she hates she loved Rosemary's Baby, but that was like her limit. It was the 1960s.
Yeah.
She's like, Casablanca, Casablanca, it's black and white, 1940. I don't know about. Oh shit!
Hope she
my god!
To
I'm tearing up. I'm like, aha, bitch! I actually said that. And then I got slapped, and I'm like, I can't. I shouldn't have said that. But aha! I was like, aha! You're right. I knew you'd like it. Yeah.
Okay.
And rightfully I got slapped, but it was I let my emotions take care. I was like, I was right. People like But then let's get the final rating. It's just easy. It's in the museum.
It's in the museum. In the museum for like everything,
And for Blake, who's not on here, he'll probably say streaming. I'm just kidding. I don't know what his rating is.
Yeah.
What's it called? He really wanted to be on it, but then like the guy is having a fun time on his birthday.
Yeah.
Well deserved break. You know?
Scheduling conflicts.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. But yeah, I'm sure, like, again, how do you not like this movie? How do you not appreciate it for like all the different things that it has to give? It's great.
Yeah, it's like Armand White, the one film critic who loves Transformers: Rendered Fallen, but hates like I think like Schindler's List or something.
What?
Yeah, he's this whole thing. We'll get into it.
Okay. All right.
All right. Thank you guys for another episode of Half a Clue Movie Review. What do you guys think of this film? Is another classic you want us to review? There's a lot of anniversaries like Singing in the Rain that we're gonna try and see where it can fit our schedules. Like I said, it's pretty packed.
I've seen Singing in the Rain.
Yeah, that's easy for you, right?
Yeah.
How's it called? Actually, I've seen it too, so we can just talk about it.
We'll find someone who hasn't. I don't think Blake has. We'll see.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys, and leave in the comments of other classic films you want us to review, or what's your thoughts on the Casablanca.
Yep. See you guys. Good night.
Half a Clue, Casablanca. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba-ba.